Hey there, welcome back to another Be Easy Con vlog. My name is Lindsay Beasley and I am currently in Louisville, Kentucky. We're getting ready to go and set up for PopCon 2024. Today is August 22nd and we're gonna go grab some lunch first and then we're gonna head over to the Kentucky International Convention Center in downtown Louisville. I have an appointment for the loading dock for 1 p.m. So this is the car currently all filled up. And I'm excited to be here and excited for another con. Hopefully it'll be a good one. So I'll see you at the convention center. Okay, so we're in line for the loading dock at the moment, and I have to say that one thing that I'm not super happy about is that I did make an appointment for the loading dock, and apparently there are a lot of people here that aren't supposed to be here for several hours that are already in line for the loading dock. Also, the security at the loading dock gate did not have my name on the list for my appointment time for the loading dock. So kind of annoyed about that, and I have the receipt and the email for the loading dock for 1 p.m. So now we're just waiting in line to get up to the loading dock. The KICC dock is actually a second floor dock, so we have to go up this big huge ramp to get to the doors, and we just have to wait our turn now. The other thing that I have to say that I'm not super happy about is that finding the dock was actually kind of difficult. We had to go around the entire building. One, because we had no directions or no information about what street it was actually on. Also, there are 10 million different loading docks on this street around the convention center, and all the streets around the convention center are one way. So that made it a little bit extra difficult. So now we just wait our turn. Okay. So. And this. Good morning. So today is August 23rd, pretty sure. It's day one of PopCon Louisville, and we're all set up and ready to go. We just got the booth opened up, and it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish in the morning, and it doesn't open till like noon, but I didn't know what the whole parking situation was going to be like. So we got here early, and thank God we did, because they're closing the walkway from the parking garage to the convention center at 10. So good on us for getting here before 10. But let me show you this. Okay, so on the side here, I've got all my headband ear warmers and some mystery bags for the first time this year. And then we have the big stuff as usual on the top, and then the display headband. We've got chickens and Stardew Valley stuff, and these guys are new too. These guys and these guys. Turnip Boy actually has his soil sword, and it's magnetic, so it's attached to him. And then the lamb from Cult of the Lamb, Grogu's, Lofcats, Totoros, and the last of the calcifers. We've got keychains here. I kind of did a different setup this time, so we have this section here. And then in the middle is the cash register and information, stickers, headphone sprouts, trash can critters, and dim sum keychains, potion bottles down there, car buddies, more big stuff at the top, cats, the classics, some Halloweenies. And then on this side we've got magnets, more mystery bags, and some Pokeballs and dim sum plushies. So that's what we've got. And that's what the booth looks like right now. You might notice that I don't have my trademark purple tablecloth there. I don't have my purple tablecloth because I specifically asked the people running the con through Evently, hey, what sizes are the tables? Like, what size is the table? So I knew what tablecloth to bring, and they told me 6 foot. That's not a 6 foot table. That's an 8 foot table. So I don't have my tablecloth. Thank God it's not just skirted, because that would have sucked even more. So we don't have the purple tablecloth, but we're here, we're set up, and let me show you the back of the booth. This is what the back of the booth is looking like here. The cash register and everything right in the middle. This is all the raccoons and possums I have right now. And all the stock is underneath the table. And my canvas bins here, so there you go. keychains, car buddies, whatnot. So everything's nice, tidy, neat, and organized. So all it's left to do is to put money in the cash drawer and turn on the Square and the iPad and all that, and make sure we're ready to go. But like I said, it doesn't open for a few hours, so we're just gonna chill. I'm probably gonna crochet for a while because we're ready to go. And there you go. We'll do a check-in after it opens, see how it goes. Good morning. So today is Saturday, day 2 of PopCon Louisville. It's the 24th, 23rd, something like that. And I didn't check in yesterday because they were playing a lot of loud copyrighted music, and it just didn't happen. So I have some things I'll talk about in the recap, but yesterday was pretty slow, not gonna lie. Like, it was a ghost town in here, and I'm not real happy about it. But we'll talk about it later in the recap. I will try to do better today to do a check-in, or at least show crowd if there is a crowd, but hopefully it'll be a good day. Okay, so the doors are gonna open anytime now. That's my badge. Haven't shown it to you yet. Today I'm wearing Beetlejuice and a black and white skirt. And everything's stocked, ready to go, signs put out. And we're just waiting for the people. So hopefully there's a line. I don't know if there is or not, but we will find out soon, I suppose. Okay, so check-in number 1. It's about 12:30, and it's slow. It's so slow. It's so disappointing. I have not made any sales yet today, which doesn't bode well. And right now, it's so slow. I'm sitting here crocheting just to have something to do because it's so slow. We've had a lot of interest, but no sales, which is a super big bummer. But there are lots of people looking, lots of card taking, so maybe it'll translate into Etsy sales. I guess we'll find out. Etsy or, Instagram followers, right? But it's such a bummer. I think everyone around me is pretty disappointed too. Just the general consensus is like, why is it so much worse than it was last year? Is there too much going on? Like, what's going on? There's lots of super cool cosplays though, so I think I'm gonna set you up and let you see some of the cosplays walking by, which would be super cool too. So at least you'll get joy out of today. But here's hoping. I'm still hopeful that maybe the rest of the day will be better. So. Juice here. We have him in his wedding outfit over here.
Ooh, thank you for that.
And then, of course, the sandworm.
Yeah.
Wait, the cat's cute.
Yeah, that cat's cute.
Wait, is this a... No. And that's not just my pumpkin.
Oh
Yep.
my God, I love pumpkin spice lattes.
I never tried it, but I'm scared to try it.
They're really good. They're like my favorite drink.
I mean, it's gonna be...
Yeah, all right, we gotta go.
Thanks, guys. Hey there. So things this afternoon have gotten marginally better. Like, it's still not a slam dunk, but I've paid for my table at least, so there's that. People are looking around, and hopefully as things wind down, we still got, I think, 3.5 more hours left. So as things wind down, maybe people will come back to pick things that they found earlier. But things are looking up, folks. But I will do another check-in towards the end of the day. Hello. Good morning. It is August 25th. Sunday. It's day 3 of PopCon, and I didn't do a final check-in yesterday because it had been about the same. We got like one big wave of people at the end of the day, you know, making their final purchases, and then that was it. Today is pretty slow, but we're here. We're here, and we'll talk more in the recap, but there's still some pretty cool cosplays going around. There's some Gravity Falls and stuff like that. It's been an interesting one, so I will check in later. Good morning. It is Friday, August 30th, and I'm finally home from PopCon. I got home on Tuesday night. Let me tell you, this past weekend was something else. It was something. Because apparently this is the recap where I tell you yet again about my poor financial life choices. Oh my god. Alright. So let me start this off by saying that all these comments, we'll leave it there. All these comments are based on my experience at the con and the things that I saw, things in some cases that I heard. Please excuse the dog huffing and puffing in the background because apparently we have to hyperventilate about something. And this is just from my point of view. These are the things that I noticed that I didn't really appreciate. Let's start off with the table price. It was $355 for this table. And it was a little expensive for what we got. So I was extremely disappointed in Louisville, in PopCon Louisville. I really wanted it to be really, really good. and it could have been. Luckily, from what I've seen, a lot of the attendees haven't noticed anything, so there's that. So that's a good thing. They had fun. But as a vendor, I honestly will not be doing this again unless something changes in a big way for this one. I did end up profiting about $100-$200, but unfortunately there were many people who made nothing this weekend on a $355 table, and that's really sad. So I'm just gonna go down my list here I have on my iPad of the things that really bothered me. So the first one was when we got to the loading dock on Thursday. I had scheduled my time for the loading dock several weeks prior, and I was there on time for the loading dock for my appointment time. Now, the security officer who was at the bottom of the loading dock, because the loading dock at the Kentucky International Convention Center, or the KICC, is on the second floor. So you turn into like a garage door, essentially a large garage door, and it takes you up a ramp to the loading dock for the vendor floor. Which, cool, right? Yeah, that'll be great. Only it was not, because the security officer told me that there were people who were showing up at noon that had a 3 o'clock appointment that he was allowing onto the ramp. So security was not sticking to the schedule of loading dock times at all. Okay, that was number one. Number two is when you actually got up to where the load-in was, where the doors were, it was an absolute mess. There was one person directing traffic, and it was a mess. I'm surprised nobody was hurt, because there was a man in a personal pickup truck with food service equipment in the back of it that was trying to back into a spot at one of the large doors so that he could unload his vehicle. And there were other vendors walking around, beside, in front of, and making this man's life incredibly difficult because they couldn't hold their horses for 2 seconds. Okay? I'm literally surprised no one got hurt. That's how bad it was. So, the next thing is that there was they called it a pedway, a pedestrian way or whatever, that connects the convention hall to the convention hall's parking garage. Now, we parked in that parking garage the entire time we were there. It was only $12. It was a pretty good price. And it had that walkway, which made it super easy, because that walkway, you go down to the second or third floor, you can walk straight across and you're right there at the doors for the vendor hall. Perfect, right? Great. The only problem was that they locked it. It was open Friday morning. We were able to get across it. And then they locked it, and it was locked Friday and Saturday. So if you parked in that parking garage, you had to go all the way down to street level and then walk to one of the 4 corners of the building to get in the building. And that was like 3 or 4 blocks. That's not exactly accessible for a lot of people. And it made loadout even more fun. We'll get to that in a minute. Because we were told that at 1:30 in the afternoon, or we were told Sunday in the afternoon, that we would be able, by event staff, that we were going to be able to utilize that pedestrian walkway for loadout. And my setup, I'm able to fit it all on this large hand truck that I have, or dolly, whatever you want to call it. And we strapped it down, and we walked from the table to the back of the hall to go across the pedway because we didn't want to deal with the loading dock again, to go to the parking garage to load the car, and they were locking the doors. So I had to pull this very, very heavy truck full of all my merch, all my setup, everything, to the back of this hall, this massive hall, go down an elevator through 2 sets of double doors that were extremely heavy and difficult to hold open, and then walk 3 blocks from that exit up to the parking garage, take another elevator up, and then load the car. It made a already stressful situation more stressful, and it was extremely, extremely hot on Sunday. Another thing that bugged me, if you were in the middle or the back of the hall, you couldn't hear any announcements from staff because the convention hall didn't allow them to use the loudspeakers. They had to use like little mini like wedding speakers. And if you were anywhere other than that first row, you couldn't hear anything. It was nothing but mumbly music and mumbly announcements. And that was the other thing, is because you couldn't hear announcements, you couldn't hear them say, hey, it's open, or hey, it's closed. Which is a first. In that hall, there's 1 set of bathrooms. There's 1 men's and 1 women's bathroom, okay? Fine, cool. Because the next one is like a 5-minute walk from the hall. Well, that would be fine, but the entire time on Saturday and the entire time on Sunday, the convention hall's janitorial staff was cleaning one or the other of the bathrooms. So all day Saturday they were cleaning the women's bathroom, which I like clean bathroom, and this was a big bathroom, but I don't think it warranted like an 8-hour somebody's in there cleaning it. And then they did that again for the men's bathroom on Sunday. The next thing I want to talk about is the layout. So the way the layout worked was a lot of like the larger 10 by 10 spaces were on either side. So all the pipe and drape spaces were here and here. And then there's this big middle swath where they put these massive squares, or islands as they called them, where the artists' tables were. And there were A, B, C, D, 4 or 5 of these little blocks. Now, this setup made it really, really confusing for vendors and also visitors, because they didn't know how to approach seeing everything. So there were people who didn't even get to my booth because of the layout was confusing. The other big thing was the convention staff had no plan for loadout until 1:30, 2 o'clock on Sunday. So 2nd floor ramp, right? That's a mess and a half waiting to happen. And basically all the plan was you have to have your entire setup broken down and packed up before you can go and get your car to get on the ramp. But the people who had an extra helper with them, one person would stay and break down the booth, and then the other person would go and get the vehicle and be on the ramp. And it just caused traffic and a security problem, and people were standing around waiting, and people were frantic because they wanted to get out of there, and it was a mess. Hence why I didn't want to use the loading dock, and I just decided to truck everything 3 blocks to the parking garage. There were apparent stalking issues from what I've heard from other vendors. Now, this isn't something I witnessed personally or I had firsthand knowledge of personally, and I don't know the whole story, but there are 2 stories, one of which is a minor and an adult, and one of which is a mom and a child and another adult being stalked through the con. That's not a great look. Just saying. And when staff was approached about it, from what I heard, they virtually did nothing. But again, this is all secondhand knowledge. I don't know the whole story. And we'll just leave it at that. The last two really big things that really bugged me were, one, that staff scheduled a panel for vendors on how they could do PopCon better on Sunday during selling hours. When they could have just sent a survey email. The fact that they scheduled this during convention hours at an already incredibly slow event really isn't a good look. A lot of vendors perceived it as, we'll have this and we want your input, but we don't really want your input because we put it during your selling time, especially on an extremely expensive table. Not extremely expensive. This isn't that expensive of a table, to be honest. I've seen higher price tables, but on a relatively high price table, it's not really a good look. It makes you feel like they want your input, but they don't really want your input. And then the last thing was that there was entirely too much going on in Louisville this particular weekend. This was the worst possible weekend they could have scheduled this event. So, from what I know, there was the Kentucky State Fair, and it was a special one because it was like 120th year, and there's like 120 counties, and it was very, very busy, and it was literally like 4 exits down the highway from where the convention center was. There was a marathon this weekend. There was a brand new park opening this weekend. There was a street festival this weekend. Several of the colleges in the area, it was move-in weekend for them. So this was literally like the worst weekend ever for this. PopCon just sort of got lost in the noise. To add to that too, there wasn't a lot of advertising for it. They had like the lamppost signs, and there were some spots on the local news about it, and other than that, didn't really hear much else. Didn't see much else, didn't hear much else about it. There wasn't really a line of people waiting to come in the morning. None of that. And it was, as a vendor, pretty disappointing. This was supposed to be my big con for the year, and it did not live up to the hype. It did not live up to the expectations, and I'm pretty disappointed about it. Like I said at the start, I'm very lucky that I didn't lose my shirt on this one, but I have newfound friends that did. Vendors were not happy about it. And needless to say, unless things change in a big way, BEZ will not be back to PopCon Louisville. I would, however, consider trying PopCon Indianapolis. It's been there longer. This is only the 2nd year Louisville has had a PopCon. Indianapolis has had it for 12 years. It's got a good following and all that. So I would try it there. But I will not be, and it's closer. Indianapolis is closer than Louisville is. It's like 4 hours as opposed to 6, which is nice. So maybe we'll give that one a shot. But I have big plans for next year, and maybe we'll do a studio vlog and talk about that and how I organize all that. That might be interesting to some people. I highly doubt it because I think it's kind of boring. But those are my gripes about PopCon. Now that being said, I did have things that I did like. The main one being the camaraderie between the vendors and the fact that when vendors were doing well, people were celebrating their wins. Other vendors were celebrating their wins. And I really appreciated that. I've never had that sort of camaraderie at an event before. Like I said, this is the largest scale one that I've done before. And next year we're going for broke. Although we're almost there this year. Oh my gosh. This year has been interesting. I only have a couple more cons this year. I have 3 to be exact. I have Wicked Fest. Well, I have 2 cons and 1 market. I have Wicked Fest, and then which is in Hannibal, Missouri, October 12th. Planet Anime, which is in Kansas City, which is October 18th, around there. It's 3 days, I think. And then the next one is here in Quincy, and that's the Quincy Christmas Market. And that's it for me for the year, which seems kind of crazy, but to be honest, after this last one, I'm kind of done taking financial risks for the year. You guys have been doing really well with my Etsy, which I so appreciate, beyond appreciate. Be on the lookout for Black Friday deals. I am going to be doing some Black Friday deals. Haven't figured out what they are yet, but I've decided I'm going to do them. We're going to have Black Friday specials and, that weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. So, hopefully that'll carry us through into the next year. But thanks guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow along. Follow me on Instagram where I'm most active. I also now have Pinterest board. Fun fact, not that anybody really uses Pinterest anymore, but hey, you never know. New stuff comes out all the time on my Etsy shop as well, so keep looking at that. We'll have witch hats before long. We'll have witch hats before long, hopefully, up there. Prettier pictures than that one currently was. But I'm always working on new stuff, so check it out. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye!